ことやんね。
おいしい。さすが私。
More than a married couple, but not lovers. So this anime follows probably 4 main characters. This follows specifically Akari Watanabe, Jiro Yakuin, and Shiori Sakurazaka, and Minami Tenjin. These are our 4 main characters. Now there is other characters surrounding them, which I can only assume that we will kind of get introduced to kind of as episode 2, 3, 4, etc., kind of like get shown to us. But these 4 main characters basically have this one thing going on, is they have like this thing to where Akari, which is Jiro's partner, really likes Minami. We have Jiro, who really likes Shiori. Then we have Shiori, which is unknown if she has pre-existing feelings for her childhood friend Jiro, although he does. Then we have Minami, who's kind of like our chameleon, where we don't really know where he fits. He's obviously partnered with Shiori during what I'll explain in a minute, but we don't know if he actually likes Akari, or he just thinks of her as a friend, or if he's kind of one of those cool guys to, maybe he likes the company of Akari, but maybe he just thinks of her as a friend. He probably likes Shiori. He's probably going to become friends with her, but he might just be getting close to her because of this practical exam. We don't exactly know where he's going to fit in, so he's going to kind of be our wild card throughout the season. So this specific anime, I don't really know on what my feelings are of it yet. I will say that I enjoyed episode number 1. So if I had to simply come in here, sit here and recommend, should you watch this on Sundays based on episode number 1, I would say yes, you should. I would say at least this is one of those ones to where, I'm a big proponent. I come here every single week and I say, hey, episode 1 is the most important episode of any anime. If you're going to put all your production, all your studio dollars, all your artists, all your direction, writing, everything into one episode, it's episode number 1, because that is the episode that a viewer, me and you, decide to come back and give it an episode 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. That's the one that says, yeah, I'm legitimately looking forward to it. And subconsciously, you make a decision of whether you like it or not off episode 1. But what I will say is, if you have the time, I think this one is definitely one that requires that 3-episode rule to really see a little bit more things get fleshed out. Now, there is a lot of things that are covered here, but I think the main thing is this anime is centered around a practical exam. It's a practical exam where students get married, or they pretend to get married. They go and live in a dorm, and they are heavily monitored, and based on their feelings, their actions that they take, and their dissatisfaction, their hatred, etc., they either gain points or they lose points based on the person that they're paired with. Each and every single month, they have the ability to then get into the top 10 of what they call A rank. So the people who earn the most points throughout their 1-month time frame of being together with each other, if they are in A rank, they have the ability to swap positions or swap partners with everybody else who is also in A rank. So people who have a preferential person that they maybe want to be partnered with have the ability to exchange and swap, as long as the other people also agree to do it, with others that score in the top 10 or whatever it is in A rank. So that is what everybody strives for. Now, right off the bat, this marriage practical course, I think that the thing that they didn't answer on episode 1, where I said, okay, this is going to require episode 2 or 3, is, and please don't ruin this in the comments if you have read the source material stuff, but the thing that I have a huge question on is, what's the purpose of the marriage practical course? Why are they required to do it? Why is the school required to do it? And why is it so heavily weighted? Because our main character, Jiro, right, he gets pulled into the guidance counselor, or the student advisors, or basically he gets pulled into the teacher's office. And his teacher was like, hey, you and Watanabe, right? Like, you two haven't had any score. You guys have been at a goose egg for the last week. And she basically tells him, like, right now you guys are ranked 72nd. You guys are ranked in E. if you don't do better in this, there is a chance that you failing this or not passing this will hold you back from graduating. So this marriage practical course that these third years do is so important to this school's curriculum that if they don't do well here, they won't graduate. They'll have to repeat their third year of high school. So I want to know, from a viewer standpoint, for somebody who wants to be heavily engaged in this, I want to know, like, what's the purpose of this marriage practical course? It is to set them up, I guess, to be married again in the future. But it seems a little weird, So I love the idea of it. I love the weirdness of it. And don't get me wrong, I like the idea of it. I think it's cool, and it's a great plot device to kind of pit people together and kind of force them to like people that they would have never thought, right? Like how in this specific case, right, you have Jiro, who's essentially, he's kept to himself. He's not popular. He's not ugly or anything. He's just very to himself. He's kind of like a loner kind of dude. He has one friend in Kamo Sadaharu, right? He likes to play games and stuff. So he's kind of like the loner type. He's not really like this, extreme popular kid. And then on the opposite side, you have Akari Watanabe, and she is like the epitome of gossip girl, hip girl, really in the know, makeup and Instagram, and probably has TikTok, and so it's very interesting, the dynamic there, right? So you pit these two people together and say, hey, go be this married couple. So I think all of that is interesting. I think it's a great kind of like plot device. It's a great thing to kind of move the needle forward in this story that they're trying to convey and create. The things that I didn't like about the episode specifically is the one thing is we have this character Jiro. Akari keeps calling him Virgin-kun, very virgin related, right? This is our typical or atypical main character who a girl breathes on him and he's like losing his crap. I don't think that being to yourself, liking games, not being the super popular kid, I don't think that necessarily means that you're like allergic to females. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's what that means, but I hate when they write their characters like that. The only thing I can assume is that whoever wrote the story probably sees Jiro in himself, and that's probably why the story's written that way. That's the only reason I can really think that. So that's the main thing I didn't like is him being in that role specifically. Is I was like, okay, that's a little bit too much. The other thing that I didn't like was his little fantasies. I simply don't think that his fantasies compute, right? Like, he keeps having these very erotic, exotic fantasies, and they don't really fit into the narrative of the anime. They are way left field. I mean, he's picturing Akari or Shiori in these very lewd scenes, which I don't mind the fan service, but it's just like I don't think that those ones really fit with the way that the anime is portrayed in the story. Maybe that can come later, and I really don't enjoy that because again, you have this nerd virgin. It's like it's so epitomized. These characters are so overused. It's like it's a little unnecessary. You know what I mean? So I didn't really enjoy that either. What I did enjoy, though, is I enjoyed that Kari herself is also a first-timer, which means that she also doesn't have any experience. So when Jiro goes in and, and he kisses her, I thought that was a really awesome scene. I really enjoyed that quite a bit. I like how, when they shared their omelet rice, how they kind of both started kind of get flustered. Really enjoyed that. So I think them getting closer to each other will kind of really be fruitful as this anime kind of unfolds. The other thing is he really messed up where his childhood friend Shiori asked him to like, yo, call me by my first name, call me Shiori. And he came back, he got interrupted, but then he came back calling her Shirakazaka or whatever her last name, Sakurazaka. And he effed that up too. It's like, yo, bro, like, it's not that hard to say somebody's first name. Just say her first name, dude. Like, she asked you to, and then you're going to come back and not do it? Like, that's a slap in the face. Like, if anything, he just lost points with the girl he likes the most. So those are the kind of things that I liked or didn't like, and I just kind of need more time for it to kind of bloom and take time, just like Akari and Jiro's relationship. I also really like how they had some Sega Game Gear stuff there. I thought that was cool. And then obviously the large bazangas in the beginning are always welcome. But let me know what you guys thought about this anime. Let me know if you're going to continue with it, give it more time on Sundays. Let me know if you're going to drop it. Let me know if you're going to do the 3-episode rule. However you're feeling about it, drop that down in the comments. And thank you for listening to my thoughts on this anime today. And we'll see you guys next Sunday for episode number 2. Peace.